Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi. Hello. Okay, firstly, look at this top, girls. Look at this top, girls. Isn't that cute? And look at this little bow. Welcome back to my channel, Girl Underwater. And listen, if you have been here on my channel for a really long time, I just have to say thank you so much for being here with me throughout this journey of my YouTube. If you have been subscribed to me since, you know, a while. I know a lot of you have been subscribed to me since like 2021, late 2020, even if you're like that early. It's been like a little over 4 years that I've been making content, and I have truly just loved it so much. I never expected that so many people would resonate with me as a person in this life, especially on the internet, because, well, I feel often very misunderstood in life. And I think that the fact that there are so many of you who enjoy me and my hobby and also just me as a person enough to like click subscribe, 10,000, bitch, 10,000. This video is to commemorate the 10,000 subscribers. We hit 10,000. I wish that we could all do like a big gigantic group hug or something. Wouldn't that be just lovely? I think it would. I just cannot believe that it's here, the day. And girl, what the fuck? What the freak? Anyways, honestly, I've been through a lot in the last like 5 years in my personal life, my personal journey, and like where I've come from since I started making videos. It's been a really rough period of time, and I almost feel like only the first maybe like year and a half that I started making YouTube videos was kind of my most active point. Like I feel like ever since then it's been very shooty with me. I just appreciate any of you who just like kind of stuck with me through that. I think it's like lots of growing pains for me personally, you know, as a person, coming to learn myself more as a tranny. Like, what do you want from me? I really feel like I've been returning a lot more lately, and it feels really good. And we hit 10,000! We're in the double digit. Mother. To celebrate our 10,000 subscribers, I asked you on Instagram, I said, girls, gather, listen closely. Let me know, just be honest with me. What is your hot, juicy, delicious, steaming hot takes or unpopular opinions about dolls in general or the doll community? It's a piece of cake to break a pretty cake. If the way is gotta do the by the book. No, you can't be in a messy recipe. The cake will end up stupid. If you can do the cooking by the book, then you'll have a cake. No, I'm not gonna go break it down, bitch. Not just the meme, I like the actual song. Okay, guys, 10,000. I'm so excited. We have Blythe. Also, guys, I ordered 2 more Blythe dolls because I made a lot of money recently. So there's gonna be a Blythe haul coming soon. So fuck me. Anyways, my kimchi mirror, so fried. Okay, I, for one, I have opinions of my own, okay? Listen. Hun. Listen, you guys might think, oh, Serena, she's such a sweetie belle. She is such a little, like, ninny girl. Love her. She's so sweet. I get that a lot, that I'm sweet and very sweet and kind. And I am. The proof is in the pudding. I can also be the bitch. Just kidding. I was actually referencing Toot from Drawn Together, if you didn't know. I'm gonna be honest, okay? I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. Because you girls need to hear the truth. I will self-proclaim that I have really good taste in everything. I do. I really do. No one's ever disagreed with my taste level, but, like, I'm sorry. Like, can I toot for a second? Can I toot my own horn for a little bit? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be unfiltered. I'm going to be blunt. I don't care. I'm not going to be offensive towards any of you guys, only what we're talking about. If I am offensive, sorry, girls. And you know what? Other girls are offensive too, but they are offensive because of how poor their taste level is. And you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. I have a lot. A lot. And there's a second one. If I don't do every single one, I'm genuinely sorry. I don't know if I'll be able to reach every single one of your inquiries. Rat dress. They say people that overprice a doll that ain't even that much. Like, hello. Don't even get me started, sweetie. Because the doll overpricing, it's getting sick. I'm so sick of it. I can't take it anymore. It's really annoying, especially with brats. Like, blanked. It's so annoying. Yes, some things, they're sought after. They go for a little bit more money, whatever. When we start getting into the, like, $500, $600, $700, $800 range, for a certain doll that's from a play line, where all the other dolls are cheaper, and that one is like hundreds of more dollars. Y'all who have the money to spend on that, like, that's really awesome. It really is. And I wish I did too. But I also think, like, you're not helping either. I agree with you, Rat Dress. We have #MillionDollHairs_. They say, I love Bigoths, but something about the shape of their heads I don't like, so I can't get into them. They're so flat and wide. I love that they're flat and wide. I actually think that's something that I really enjoy about Bigoths, is that their head molds and, like, their body molds are very particular, but specifically their head molds, they just are, like, very stylized looking. I like that. Also, I mean, like, a brat head is like a big bulbous round bulb, you know what I'm saying? So just, it's like that, but they're like smushed. They do kind of look like smushed in, don't they? But that's cute. But I do get it though. Like, sometimes it's just, you can't do it. That's how I feel about Ever After High Dolls with that melon head. I don't like that melon. I don't like that melon. The next one is by La Petite Bichette. Frankie haters do not interact. I think Frankie G3 haters can interact, like, comment, slide up, as they say. G1 Frankie haters, they can, like, low-key rot in, hell a little bit. I like Franklin. I like G1 Franklin. I think G1 Frankie's low-key, like, the most gorgeous design ever. MJ Nicole Taylor 13 says, sometimes the Bratz community can be a bit mean. You know what? Yeah, they can. People who are Bratz collectors are, like, I think sometimes veteran doll collectors, like, Some of us brass collectors, we've been collecting forever, girls, forever. You just will never like quite get it like that if you haven't been collecting brats since before the Y2K craze of it all. Like, some of us have been on that Y2K, even though it's not even technically Y2K. But we'll get into that another time. I think the brats community should be a little bit mean. I think that there needs to be a little bit of gatekeeping. I think there needs to be, specifically with brats, because brats is a doll line that is, in my opinion, not in need of like localization anymore. Like, if anything, I think we should kick some of these sisters off the bandwagon. Did you guys see that one doll that made like the Bratz boys like outfits, inspired by outfits thing, and it was all AI brats? Dude. Like, come on. It's just lame. It's lame. It's lame. It's kind of funny that the Bratz community is mean. I always say Bratz. Why do I say that? I think it's funny that the Bratz community is kind of mean because I feel like brats look kind of mean and they're called like brats. Like, I just feel like it fits, you know what I'm saying? Next is BB Brownlee. Boxer High G2 was not as bad as some of y'all make it out to be. I think it had certain highlights to it, and some of their faces were kind of pretty. But other than that, I think it was worthless. Heaven Doll says, trading is low-key so ugly. Like, I want new dolls, but I don't want to get rid of mine. Okay, yes, because it's like, wait, but I don't want to have to get rid of my beautiful Lulu to get that other beautiful Lulu. But also, sometimes though, if you're like broke and you really want a new doll, sometimes you have to sacrifice, honey. Heaven Dolls also says, why are people selling bald slash split play sports heads for over $500? No clothes either. Wild. Y'all and those play sports teams brats, like, they're so gorgeous, but $500 for a split head, like, is that even true? Because if that is, that's insane and fried. It's fried, hon. Discharge underscore diva. Right. Says people keep riding Mattel's plastic strap on and praise let's justify lazy overpriced dolls. I genuinely feel like Mattel has been giving us like plastic like waste. Besides G3, like that's not plastic waste now, but especially with Barbie. Here's my hot take. I cannot believe that some of you collect modern Barbie. Cowgirls Yasmin says, Blythe should do more budget lines, like the Prima Dolly and Simply lines. Yes, they should. And that would be really fun. I wish that I was like present with Blythe when those were coming out, because I would have bought those up. The one with the light pink hair. And it's funny because like those ones that are meant to be more simple and less expensive, they're actually some of the most sought after dolls now. Like, really? I would die for one of those. I love that little animation of that being like da, 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 da. Oh my god, I love Blythe. Thank god somebody asked me about Blythe dolls. Hine69 says, a lot of the doll community is mentally ill and copes unhealthily with overconsumption. True. Like, that's kind of true. I do feel as if a lot of doll collectors do typically use it as a form of comfort, which is not a bad thing at all. But it's like the way that you started using it as a cope. I think I used to have a problem with over consuming. I think I've become a lot more picky nowadays, which is good. I do think it's good to be conscious of how much you're consuming, obviously. It's not fun when one day you look around and you realize that you have a lot of dolls and things that you just don't actually really care about, you know? I used to be like that, and I've now come to a point where I very, very often am cycling out which dolls I don't really feel as if I resonate very deeply with. Now all I really have is like all the ones that are special to me. And I feel so much more connected to my collection as of lately. Pretty and Punk says, people that go crazy over rare dolls that someone else wants and becomes rare. So ew. Yeah, I do think it's lame to just want a doll because it's considered rare or like sought after. Do you actually like her enough to pay like $500, you know? Living Dead Girl says, I will never understand why people get upset when dolls have curves such plus size bodies. Honestly, it's so fried. Like, who are you to have dictation over if someone making dolls decides to make them curvaceous or plus size? How does that affect you in any regard? I remember when people were complaining about Draculaura being plus size in G3, which is so bizarre to me that people actually perceive this as plus size. But that's the whole thing though, is because we're comparing it to original G1 Monster High, who was skinny as a needle. I appreciate when people give dolls curves, and like fat dolls are cute. I like fat. Fat's cute. I love fat. Dark Barbie different. Dark Barbie different. Hey girl. They say, my take, and not in a mean way, was just the way I see is that people get too wrapped up in what others collect. Like, they see hate on G3, so they hate as well on G3. And I think people should just collect what they love. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't really pay that much attention to what people have to say about dolls that's like hateful, unless it's like something that I very much agree with. I agree with it in regards to like new Winx Club. I'm pissed about this reboot. Don't even get me started. I think it's okay to have a dislike for a certain type of doll or whatever it is and express that. Like, why can't we talk about it? I think it's interesting to talk about things we don't like. I think hatred is a really intense word for it. Like, it's a doll. I think we should be saving the emotion of hatred to more like important things, but I don't know. I think it's kind of fun, personally. I think it's fun to talk about things that we don't like and why. Why do people get so offended on the behalf of things? If someone was like, oh my god, I hate brats. They're so stupid, so ugly. I hate everything about them. I would be like, oh my god, like, why, you know? But I wouldn't be like, well, duh. Like, it's fine, hun. I still like them and I love it. I don't care. I think if you know who you are and you believe in your taste and you believe in the things that you like, I don't really think it should affect you that much. Back to School Chloe says, people with collections who have just rare sought after dolls is annoying. Have unique dolls. I completely agree. I do think they're beautiful, whatever. It's cool that you have all those like rare ones, but no one ever has anything like interesting to say about them. All they have to say about it is like, I wanted her for so long. She's so rare. I paid $1 million for her. And yeah, she's so pretty. She's so cute. She's so gorgeous. She's so kind. It's fun to have a more particular love for something that is very authentic rather than it being because of like monetary value. Troll Baby 07 says, teen trends is never talked about, yet the prices go up. Sellers are just big and greedy. Damn, y'all are pissed about the sellers tonight. It's funny how the prices for teen trends got way higher. I also think it's funny that I feel as if, no offense, they got a little bit higher after I made a video about Kiana. And I don't care because they did. When doll YouTubers or like people are raving about a certain doll, all of a sudden, a lot of people will just be obsessed with it and like want one as well just because it's like being talked about. Do you know what I mean? I noticed, girls, after I got Kiana for like, I think I paid like what, like $20 for her, 30. That video had like a ton of like engagement, and then I remember people messaging me being like, where did you get your Kiana? She is so much money now. And I'm like, why? I feel nervous to say things like this. I don't want to come off very like conceited or something, but it like that really does happen. It happened with Living Dead dolls. When my friend Alana and I started posting about Living Dead dolls, I swear like the next day after I had started making videos about them, like a collection, everyone's like, oh my god, Living Dead dolls are so cute. I want one. I want one. I love this one. I love this one. Like, it really does happen. It's not me thinking that I have like more of an impact than I do or something. Dennis Capan. Whoa, that username is Dinas Capodiniosiona. Garrett Sanders can't design dolls for shart. It's Lily Martinez who saved Monster High, and I don't give a F. I don't give a funk. I don't really know that much about that, honestly. I feel like it's a stretch to say that Garrett Sanders can't design dolls for shart. Like, I don't know. It's kind of rude. They also said brats show that having ugly molds doesn't matter if you give them good screenings and clothes. Is the Bratz mold ugly? I don't think the mold is ugly. Jogi Preciosi dolls are better than Mattel dolls, and I say this as a Mattel Winx dolls collector. I think they're like very gorgeous in their own way of charm, but I definitely don't think they're better in quality, like not by a long shot, honestly. But I love Jogi Preciosi Winx Club dolls. Glitter Glitz dolls says Monster High dolls are not worth the secondhand market price, to be honest, super flimsy. It's because they're deteriorating as we speak, honey. They got glue coming out of their scalp. Their limbs are floppy, floppy, floppy all over the world. Oh my god, they're turning yellow. Their hair's turning yellow. And those dolls aren't even that old either. Fireballing round for this person. Ever After High would be better as a show / books first, and the dolls were just merch. Kinda. My scene are really good and gorgeous dolls, but they lack sense of personality. Yes, I've been saying that for years, that they're gorgeous, but they feel vapid. We need more anthro dolls like Pinky Cooper and Catwalk Kitties. We are starving. We could use some of those. I don't know. I like human dolls, honestly. Most Bratz community faves are boring and underrated. Wait, they're underrated? You mean over? I'm just one of those people that likes Bratz dolls because they look like kind of funky and clunky looking. So I prefer the early ones. I like when Bratz look like the early artwork. I mean, I love it, but like, it's gorgeous, but I'm not as big of a fan of gorgeous like cunty Bratz. The older ones, even though they're more like crunchy looking, they have more personality. Those tend to be the most underrated ones too. D is one of the best Bratz dolls. I agree. This person has a few. The good Bratz dolls are like 100+, and it's so tiring being a Bratz collector. Girl, I can't take it. Saran is the only hair type I can stand. I love Saran, but I love Kanekalon as well. I don't give a freak. Kanekalon feels good, like a feather. Monster High is overrated and so expensive on Mattel Creations. Like, what do you mean retail is $90? Monster High is annoying. So many people think they are the best with their restyles, but they really are just a gay guy putting 7 shirts on a doll. Oh my god. I personally feel the restyling doll world has become incredibly over-copied and over-inspired by the people who really started doing it, aka Juliao, my friend Juliao, and amongst a few others as well, but specifically Juliao, I feel like very much pioneered that like overly decorated, overly layered look that a lot of people do. I also would like to give Alana and I some credit in this too, because in the Facebook group, Bratz World Community, which is where like it used to primarily just be that space for Bratz collectors, in 2018, me and Alana started posting pictures like this, where we were like, you know, restyling with like experimental looks with our dolls, and they were very like multi-layered and like, you know, combinations that you might see now, honestly. This is also not to discredit people's like restyles and stuff. Like, I'm not saying that about everyone, obviously. I'm just trying to acknowledge, I think, where it came from in the first place, like where the initial kind of spark in a lot of people to do that came from. I think it was very much at that time it was Juliao that was kind of provoking that, and so many people who are getting into Bratz at the time and like started wanting to do it too, which is not a bad thing, but to agree with the person's point. I think a lot of people just kind of jacked it from him. Then this person also says, G3 is ugly as funk. You said it, girl, not me. Shut the F up, Alexis. Says, Tennis, Jade, Dresden, Passion for Fashion, Kina, and the coveted dolls aren't even that good. I feel like a lot of you guys are saying this. Is it maybe because deep down y'all just like want them really bad? I do think they're pretty. I just wish they weren't $1,000. G3 Monster High fans are a bit insane. They will defend it like their life depends on it, even if it's bad. It's like one of those things where like, can't we read anything down? Like, can't we read anything down anymore? Can't we be a little silly? Can't we be a little scandalous? I'm like a brat stan. If they make something that's foolish, I will let you know. If it's good, it's good. If it's corny, it's corny. And G3 is corny. But also, it's kind of good. It's the same thing with Fortnite. Fortnite is so corny, but it's also like amazing and addictive. So maybe it has the same effect. Dot Flow says, new inbox collectors are not valid to me. You're clearly just in it for monetary value. Why won't you hold your children? I get what you mean. I do think a lot of people, though, that collect inbox, it has to do with like the preservation of it. And I think that people also just like the box art sometimes. It's almost like a little world created around the doll. But I'm obviously not an inbox collector. I want to touch the hair. I need to have all of my senses be stimulated by the doll. I need to feel her. I need to smell it. I need to look at it, you know. It is interesting. Like, I could never be a fully inbox collector. That's so crazy. Like, don't you want to love them? Haunted Dolly _98 says, lots of people ignore the blatant fat phobia and racism in the community. And can we just clock it, as they say? You really do see it, especially on Twitter or X, whatever. I ain't calling it X. You see it a lot. The racism, the fat phobia. It's just disgusting. I think that if you're fat phobic or racist, especially racist, although fat phobia is rooted in racism, I just don't think that you should be able to like participate socially in things. Like, it's just not like a space for you, you know? In the doll community, we're not out here being racist and fat phobic. Like, that is not at all in any way acceptable or okay. And the fact that people just like love to just like throw some shit around with it is so annoying. And they think it's like in the vein of being like constructive. You can't be constructive with racism. Dolls of a Feather says, the reason why my scene failed to eliminate brats as competition was because the initial brand identity stemmed from spite rather than passion. The whole existence of the brand was made to be a carbon copy of Bratz to reel in the attention back to Barbie rather than having its own integrity and identity, which is why it never came close to touching Bratz legacy and was discontinued way before Bratz original run. Like, that's what you get when you're trying to eat someone else's nachos. Like, they were trying to heat and steal those nachos. And girl, Bratz nachos was hot at the time too. The nachos were good. Good and cheesy. So _plastic2 with a Halen profile picture. Hi. G3 isn't as bad as people say it is. They just don't get that G3 is for a younger audience. I don't think G3 is bad. I just think it's lame. Which is maybe because of the fact that it's like targeted more towards kids. Maybe that's why I think it's lame. They also say most brass collectors collect because of rarity and not... Damn, everyone is saying that. Y'all are pissed about that. Yeah, you can definitely snuff out when someone just hops on the Bratz trend because of points to gather for having like rare dolls versus someone who like truly resonates with it. Dolls of a Feather also says, hate when people prioritize articulation over high quality hair, screenings, or fashion. Guys, I think articulation is like low-key ugly. Like, why do we have to have them be like... I'd rather them just be like... And then them have like amazing hair, amazing face, amazing clothes, just like the doll said. Like, wait. So Plastic also says, I don't like when people say G1 Claudine was a lesbian because it gives Mattel too much credit. Didn't Garrett Sanders kind of confirm that she's a lesbian, or like... that he wanted her to be, but they said no. I think it's more so that we're crediting him, not necessarily crediting Mattel, because I feel like people, I mean, that's like the whole point, is that she was supposed to be, but Mattel said no. So they don't get shit for that. The MySpace says, Looking Brass needs to be hired by MGA at this point, because what? He'd do wonders for their brand. I would scream that at the top of the hills. Can lookinbrats.com just like become brats.com at this point, and they can just give Lookin' Brats $1 million, and like, because it's eons better than that jank ass website that they got going on, that bunk website, especially the shopping feature. Skelette says, too many mean girls and toxic gatekeeping collectors. Like, we all collect to be happy. Sit down. I don't think there's any point in being like mean to people, you know? That's just like unnecessary. I think there can be a little bit of a healthiness to some level of gatekeeping. Yeah, there's definitely no point in being like mean or toxic, I guess, about things. Dandoshka132 says, G3 Caddy being fat doesn't inherently make her dolls good. To add to this, G3 purists are honestly getting worse than G1 purists. They are worse. And I agree with G1 purists. G1 is 1,000,000 times better, and G3 will never, ever, 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 ever top it. But they do have a lot of pretty dolls, though, even though they're like kind of corny to me. I don't really think people act like Caddy's dolls are good just because she's fat. I mean, it's like Caddy Noir. She's a gorgeous character. She's a black cat with hot pink hair, and she's a pop star. The first doll they made of Caddy, her outfit is really not my favorite at all. But I wouldn't say it's like bad though, per se. I don't want to talk about Caddy being fat anymore because I love it. That's just all love, fat Caddy. Genuinely though, I have that doll and I got her because she's pretty and cute, and I wanted to see what her body was like, and it's just so cute. She is so cute, and she makes me feel very seen, honestly, as like a chubby girl. Brat's Cunty says, the fashion aspect of dolls these days has gone completely out the window. I miss when dolls had like real clothes, you know? It's all so like cartoonish and so gimmicky. I think realism can be really pretty sometimes, you know? Puppy Angel says, not every doll needs to be a huntress. I think people are quick to call dolls ugly just because they aren't snatched. The cutesy la sweetie dolls have a place in the world too. And to be honest, some dolls are kind of ugly but have a unique, beautiful essence about them anyway. God, it's like you're taking the words out of my mouth, Puppy Angel. I feel the exact same way, and I probably would have worded it very similar. I love a La Sweetie Belle doll. Like Seawees. Pink Brain Matter says, pull-ups are way prettier than Blythe. How dare you? I can like zoom out and look at an objective point of view, and I can see why you would think that, because pull-ups are like, and Blythe is like, so that makes sense. But I like Blythe. Should I just sell like half my pull-ups and replace them all with Blythe dolls? Clear 2004 says, 2000s and early 10s doll collectors are often toxic, snobs, or have superiority complexes. People who are 2000s doll collectors may feel that way because they just believe so strongly in their taste. The doll community is full of Regina George wannabes. Wannabe fags, and it's exhausting. I do think that the white gays of the doll community, the cis white gays, are like the worst. And I think they can just like read a doll down. Like, no, honey, you're still a man. Like, you're still a white cis man, honey. Don't forget. I mean, it's true. Someone had to say it. I'm sorry. Living Dead Dolls Lover says, I'm worried people are gonna hop on the Big Off train now and hike up the prices. Like, need I even say that much more? Like, they've been here forever. Like, where have y'all been? I'm just mad. Like, I'm angry at y'all. Like, I'm angry at you guys. Like, how come it's taken so long for you guys to finally be like, okay, yes, like, bigots, yes. Like, they've always been it. Forever, you know? Now y'all are all about bigots.
Oh, give me a break.
Isn't that just rich? Novi stars are too underrated. They are one of the most beautiful doll lines to date. Yeah, they are. They are underrated. Novi stars is gorgeous, and I don't have any of them. They're low-key really expensive. I was at a flea market recently. They had Ari Roma and Mally Tasker in box. They were like $150. I'm mad because they were pretty. I would have definitely gotten Mally Tasker. She's cute. Kyle's online says, now that Barbie has no competition in a whole movie, she's gonna stay mediocre forever. I wish she would become a glamazon again. G1 Monster High was never meant to be as big as it was. I can see what you're saying. Like, it had an unexpected popularity to it. Glam Magic Chris says, I will never take seriously the opinion of someone who only mainly collects G3 dolls. Yes. Judder says, when people are so ride or die for big Mattel and MGA lines, I assume they know very little outside of those. I always think it's interesting when you meet someone who's like, I'm such a Mattel stan. Like, I'm an MGA stan. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, you just like anything that has that, like, name stamped on it? What if it's ugly? Moonstone Idol says, buying a doll just to let her rot in the box is so sad. Like, take her out and brush her hair. Stale air in there, for real. Brush her beautiful, long, flowing locks of hair. Unless it's a Bad Night Strawberry Shortcake, don't take it out because its hair is going to rip out like the fibers from corn husks. Ew, did you see my dog's very shut? Oh, shush it, honey. He screamed at me. Barbie Princess Robert says Blythe dolls are ugly. They are giving Oompa Loompa meets Humpty Dumpty. How could you say that to this sweet little girl? It's okay, honey. I love you and I think you're beautiful. Honestly, Barbie Princess Roberts, you're fried for that. Like, you just don't get it. Barbie Princess Roberts also says COVID-19 and the influx of new collectors ruined the market for the OG doll people. Yes! The locals. Raven-haired freak says, white twinks make niche stuff expensive, then leave after it's lame. I hope bigots aren't next. Honey. You're just speaking my language, girl. Mazzy, hi, sweetie Belle, says, G3 Monster High is ugly and I cannot get into it. G1 will always have my heart. It is perfection. See, and if you think G3 is ugly, then it's ugly. Like, Miss 2012 to 16 herself, like, whatever she says goes, honestly, on the matter. Sorry, guys. Thad is not a panda. Hi. Says, Ever After High dolls are so freaking ugly, but the story is so good. Literally. Venom's Corpse says, those who hate Draculaura in an attempt to not follow the rest are following the rest in hating her. I agree. I mean, it's one thing to like have a distaste for Monster High or G3. It's a whole nother thing to try to act like Draculaura isn't cute. Like, come on. Bunny Party 2001, my friend Alana says Cabbage Patch Kids are cunt. They are. And we don't care if anyone else ever disagrees. They are. I don't think you guys are ready yet to unlock that next like door of taste for cabbages. And that's okay, you'll get there someday. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Brat's Scene says, my scene is the third best fashion doll line ever created after Barbie and Bratz, of course. True. Leafbug says, rot Living Dead dolls lack the charm and uniqueness of OG Living Dead dolls. Yes. I miss the simplicity. Yes. 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 I miss early Living Dead dolls era so desperately. I just feel like it's one of those things, like they'll just never be the same, you know? They just want bigger and better and articulation and different faces and blah 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 blah, and they want a million collaborations. Floral Print says my scene was way better pre-bling. I do think it was better. I don't know if I'd say it was way better, but I am preferable to it. MD Galaxy says the doll market of today lacks the sort of je ne sais quoi it once possessed. We're in the trenches. I don't think we're really gonna come out of them. I do think it's been a lot better though than it was in the 2010s. The latter half of 2010s is what I'm referring to, like 2015 to like 2019. Monster Blood for Breakfast says, I don't like all the anti-blackness in the doll community. We really need to do something about it. I think people who are racist or anti-black or whatever the case, I don't think that they deserve to have a space in these safe like doll spaces. We are doll collectors. Like this is such a specific thing. It's a luxury thing. It's a comfort thing. It's a passionate thing. There's absolutely no room for racism. Like, duh. I feel like this is just should be like a duh. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that you see it is disgusting, and I will die on the hill of calling out those people and saying that they're disgusting and they're worthless and they don't need to be a part of anything. Okay, so now we have the second post I made. More. I'm so sick of the Bratz restyles. High pony, fur jacket, mini skirt, tank top, and heels. Sue me. I'm sick of Bratz restyles in general. I miss when people would just like have them in their outfits. Their outfits are cute. Like they come in cute outfits. I kind of like mine to look like it could be a display at like Toy Fair, and they just look like the ideal example of that doll, like the one you'd see in a commercial. I just love that vibe. Like I think that is like the most gorgeous thing ever with Bratz. Why do I always say that? I think that's like the most gorgeous, most awesomest thing ever with Bratz. The same person that I can't pronounce her username says, Draculaura is an annoying Ghent with a smiley face. That's funny. I don't think she's a cunt. Like, that's really crazy and fried. She can be a little annoying though, sure. Back to School Chloe also says, Monster High's peak was 2010 to 2012. Yes. My theory is that the moment that we started being in that era that was like, we are monsters, we are proud. Like we went from that cunty monster, monsters so bizarre. Like me and Alana will like just listen to that song in our car because it's gorgeous and funky and delicious. To we are monsters, we are proud, we are monsters. I think ever since it became that, and it wasn't like Freaky just got fabulous anymore. Oh, Freaky just got fabulous. Oh, like we went from that to be yourself, be unique, be a monster. Like, what happened to, like, being fabulous and freaky? Blats, 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 blats. Lil Miss Sticky Kiss says, Begoth figures look better than the dolls. I feel like that could be because it's easier to make a figure resemble an artwork rather than a doll. But I prefer the dolls better because they have hair and clothes. Yasmin Britt says, where will the doll collectors be in 5 years? Will the secondhand market be any better or worse? I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be better because in 5 years, we'll really, it's the classic, will the locals stand the test of time? If they do, then they're not locals by that point. They're real. Hopefully, a lot of them get weeded out by then, and then the collectors can reign in smiles because the market will be less crazy than it is now. The Harajuku Barbie says 2015 brats are better than 2000s brats. Girl, that's fried as hell, honey. Like, I'm sorry. That is the worst take I've ever heard in my life. 2015 brats are better than 2000s brats. See, I feel like some of y'all are just saying shit now. Just get a little gag out of me. And it's working. My hair is just in such a like weird like growing out phase, and it's a weird shape, and I have to tweak it so much to just get it to like look how I want it to. I just explodes. Pink Choco Cakes again says a couple of things. Barbie Odile is ugly. Now listen, I do not like modern Barbie at all. I think it's lame and boring and ugly. But to say that Odile is ugly, that is the only damn thing that isn't ugly, is Odile. They also say Disney Mattel 2010 to 2014 dolls were the best era, especially Ariel and Aurora. Girl, 2010 to 2014 Disney dolls were hideous. Girl, what are you on? Like, it's like it's opposite day or something. Mac for Cheese says, it's so hard to make friends in the doll community. Everyone is so, I don't know, you know? Yes, I do. I think sometimes it has to do with like, yes, you can have a mutual interest in dolls with people in the doll community, but it has to more so do also with like, do you resonate with them as a person outside of the fact that they like dolls as well? I think that's very important. Jamie Ferris says Rainbow High, old Rainbow High, is actually cunty if you style them right, and the fandom just likes to hate. I do think Rainbow High restyles are really gorgeous and better than the original outfits for sure. Alley Swan in Wonderland says, I think it's really upsetting to see people not take care of their dolls at all. Oh my god. Sometimes people's dolls are so fried and they don't boil their hair. They don't brush them out. They never have the complete outfits. Like, how do you feel like that is the one for you? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want a doll and you find one in the wild, and its like face is all scuffed and it's dirty as funk and its hair is being ripped out and it only has like its dress but it has no shoes and it doesn't have its hairpiece and whatever else. Like, how can you feel like, yes, like I found her, you know? Like, did you though? You found a busted one. Like, that doesn't even count, you know? I kind of went off on a different tangent here, but that thought, I feel that way, but also I do agree with your sentiment of like, it's upsetting to see people not take care of their dolls because some people are so like rough with them. And I think they treat them a little bit more like they are a piece of plastic, which I know they are. But to me, it's like I'm so gentle with them and like I always like set them down so nicely. I never lay them on their hair all crazy. Like if they fall, I like tend to them immediately and pick them up like as if like a child fell or something. Yeah, I just like never let them go untaken care of, I guess. But yeah, a lot of people can be very like rowdy with them or careless with them or like they don't even care to like fix them up and make them look beautiful. It's really weird. It's really weird why people cut people with a knife. Bug Clowning says we should make more characters fat. We should. I like when they make things fat. I think fat is sweet. Cherry Whore says Dana over Megan. I feel the opposite on different days. Like some days I'm like Dana A over Megan, but then sometimes I'm like, oh my god, funky fashion monkey Megan. Dan Dashka 132 says people are allowed to not like Fang vote Caddy and even wish she was G1 instead. Okay. Well, I don't think she should be G1 because then she wouldn't be fat. Also, I like her. She's actually really pretty. Although I would have liked that silver lip though. Guys, I'm sick of talking about Monster High. Like, I don't even like Monster High. Glam Magic Chris again says Winx Mattel Dolls is the closest Mattel has reached to MGA quality. Exactly. B Brat says Bratz collectors will go out of their way to ruin opportunities for other collectors constantly.
Hey, that doll's rare. I'll give you another $200 more if you cancel it and sell it to me instead. Like,
You sneaky, sneaky little cunt. You sneaky little girl. Like, you're a bitch for that, honestly. Bitch. I think that we should honor when another collector gets to it first. Like, that's not fair, you know? That's actually really evil. Like, wait for your turn. Clearly it wasn't your time, you know? Glitter Glitz Dolls, our last one we're gonna read today, says Kanekalon is the best hair fiber in my opinion. I love Kanekalon, you guys. I'm gonna actually make a video about how to very successfully make Kanekalon hair look flawless. Because there's a really certain technique to it that I think people don't. You have to practice to realize it. But if you can boil it just right and it's like sleek and straight and feathery, oh my god, it's like the softest, most like anti-gravity hair ever. It's so beautiful. That is all of the hot takes I'm going to read today. Thank you guys so much for submitting them. If I offended any of you guys, I'm sorry. But that's just my life and brain. I'm just messing around. None of it's that deep, whatever. Well, some of it is actually. For those of you who said that Pull-Up was prettier than Blythe. Just kidding. I love you. That's okay that you think that. Because I like Pull-Up too, obviously. Because I have a huge love of them. Thank you so much for 10K subscribers. I cannot wait till our next milestone when we hit 20,000 or something. Thank you for supporting me if you do. And well, I love you guys. And I'll see you in many more videos coming soon.